Hi, Booksource community. My name is Charlotte Agell, and I am the author of Maybe Tomorrow, which is illustrated by Ana Ramirez Gonzalez. I want to tell you a little bit about the book, how it came to be. Like many of us, I have been thinking a lot about sadness and grief and being stuck. I'm a teacher in a pandemic. I'm a human being in the world. I'm a mom, and I'm lots of other things as well. And this book is definitely about feelings, what to do with big ones. I am particularly talking about sadness and grief. And those things come out when they're ready. I think a book can be a little bit like a door, and a friend can help you open that door. So this is a book that is about that. I'm actually going to read you just the very beginning and then tell you a little bit more about how the story got to be the story. So here's the beginning of Maybe Tomorrow, which I have to say, thank you, Ana Ramirez Gonzalez, has a really cool cover and the pictures. So, Elba had a big block. She'd been dragging it around for a long time. It made her walk slowly. It made her think darkly. It was heavy. Norris danced everywhere he went, even uphill. One day, Elba was sitting on her block in the park like she usually did. Along came Norris in a cloud of butterflies. At first, Elba couldn't see him in all that shininess. "Hello, I'm Norris," he said. "Do you want to go on a picnic?" "I'm Elba," said Elba. "I do not go on picnics." "Well, what do you want to do?" asked Norris. "Sit here with my block." "But you're already doing that." "I know. Is it fun?" "No, not really." "What's in it?" Norris wanted to know. "In it?" said Elba. "What do you mean?" "Well, it's a box, isn't it? Something must be inside it." "It's not a box, it's a block," said Elba. "Are you sure?" asked Norris. "Yes," said Elba, prodding it with her umbrella. She always carried one, in case it rained. Norris sat down next to Elba. "I feel something in there," he said. "What?" asked Elba, who didn't feel a thing. "Something sad," said Norris. "I think it wants to come out." "How?" whispered Elba. And that is what this book is about. It started in a few different ways. All my books started in such different ways. It's like they come get me. I had a student, Emily, who was then in 6th grade. We were standing outside my classroom at school next to the poem booth, which is a converted phone booth. And she said, "Ms. Agell, do you ever get writer's block?" And I found myself saying, "Not really. It's more like I have too many ideas, kind of like butterflies." So that stuck with me, the idea of a block, something heavy, and then those butterflies. At the very same time, on my rather messy desk at home, which is where I am now, sat Elba, the original Elba I had had for years, actually. She is a little clay rhinoceros from a store here in Brunswick, and she'd just been sitting on my desk for a long time, and I knew nothing about her except that she was very, very sad, despite how hard she's trying with all these colors. She was just very sad. And then suddenly, the butterflies, the block, and Elba kind of came together, as one idea. I like things, as you can tell. And I started to draw the book originally. This is just a dummy. It looked like this, and here is Elba dragging that grief around. I was actually really happy when it turned out that Ana Ramirez Gonzalez was going to do the illustrations, because I think that her style is so full of love. And in a story about a hard emotion like grief and sorrow, I think that is perfect. So another cool thing was that I always thought when I saw Elba, the way she looks now reminded me of one of my childhood favorites, since I'm from Sweden, the Moomins. And I think that was an intentional tip of the hat. I love how literature can be such a giant conversation with itself. So that's just a little bit about the book. It reminds me of something my daughter used to say when she was having a hard time, like we do sometimes. She would tell me her mom, who wanted nothing more than to make things right, she would just say, don't try to fix it, just listen. So I think that maybe tomorrow is maybe, above all, a book about listening and friendship. So here's to being able to talk about some of the heavier things in life and some of the more beautiful things. If we don't, then the kid or the human or whoever it is has to go there alone, and that's kind of difficult. So, dear Booksource community, keep reading. Thanks for hearing a little bit about maybe tomorrow, and I wish you the happiest of years.